Hello everybody. This is Mr. MMW and I am coming back to you with another game. This is War in the West. Now, I have had this game on my desktop for quite a while, and I have tried to watch some playthroughs of it, to get in the mood to playing it, but for some reason I never found it very appealing, for some reason. But a couple days ago I tried it again, and actually find it quite enjoyable. And I also think that a lot of the guys who are doing playthroughs of this on YouTube are actually kind of lazy, if I'm completely honest, and they mostly just, use, not this screen, which one? Use this screen and then just play the land combat part of this game, which is kind of weird for me, considering, this entire game is about the air war and not so much about the land war. In fact, the land war kind of sucks. And why would you deny yourself the pleasure of setting it up the way you like it, and setting up, organizing everything, making it your war, if you will. Now, this is, of course, the second game in the generation using this engine made by Gary Grigsby after War in the East 1, right? Then they made this game, and then they sort of incorporated the air system from this game into that game. Only for some reason, into the second game, into War in the East 2, only for some reason they actually made it kind of worse. For some reason. They made it kind of useless. I have no idea why they done that. But here I am playing this game. And if you're watching for the first time, I'm gonna demonstrate to you. I'm not gonna explain everything. I'm presuming some level of competence with these games. But I'm gonna show you how to set up stuff and how to go through a turn. Because there are 4 turns, I guess, in a single week that you go through. So anyway, let's get right to it. You know me, I am a very organizational person. And I am quite OCD and artistic, one may say, with how I do stuff. So let us look. When approaching such big games, you want to split up your tasks. You want to do everything a little bit at a time. And thankfully, we have this very convenient when you give orders. These are your orders, all the different orders. This is to show all of them. And this is the air transfer mode in order to move stuff around. When you look at one order, you can give it to any of these HQs. And you can, of course, reassign planes from one to another. Let us first of all take a look at Britain. At this point in the game, you have 2 fronts. Essentially Britain and Italy. Operation Husky, this date is the beginning of Operation Husky, and we're gonna talk about that when it happens. But let us first take a look. In Britain, we have, of course, the American and the British. Let's first start with the Americans. The Americans have one unified command, the 8th US Air Force. And it is pretty nice, because it has fighters, bombers, and recon planes all in one HQ, and you can give them orders, and there you go. Now, at the beginning, all the planes in Britain start all over the place, and I would recommend, although it is very tedious, to organize them. Organize them however you wish. First of all, for simplicity, and because when you there are gains to doing this as well. Because, for example, especially for shorter range planes and especially for fighters, you want to give them the most range you possibly can. So, for example, I based the entire US Air Force in this area, generally. In these 2 hexes, I have all my fighters. They're all Thunderbolts. These nice planes. You click on them. You can give them loadouts. You set up whatever you want them to do. And then you apply to all of them. This is how you set up that stuff. And you of course check the range and radius. There you go, miles. Because we of course are using feet units. And especially for stuff like the Marauders, these are 2-engine bombers. You see, they don't have that great of a range. You can see the range by selecting one. You click on them and you see this range. Very nice. So it's important to give them, you know, a shorter and coordinated strike capability. Over here I have a bunch of B-17s and some, where is it? B-24s. All very nice, tightly packed, and they work well. You see, by the way, there are different kinds of airfields. There are 3 levels. This is level 1, this is level 2, and this is level 3. Right? Each of them can carry 100 engines. For example, yeah, if I remember correctly, it's 100 engines for each level. So, for example, let me look at one airfield. This one is nearly half, and it has twin level bombers, nearly 130, so let's say nearly 150, a rough approximation. If we were to double this number, it would be approximately 300 engines. So let's say that is the max for a big airfield. And we of course give orders to our planes on what I have done right now to the US is do a little bit of recon. You do, by the way, have a max amount of directives. This is how you give orders, of course. Here you see your planes that you have in this Air Force. 1 asterisk means they have an order. 0 asterisk means they do not have an order. And when you have something selected and you see 2 asterisks, this means that these planes are assigned to this thing. You can also see this by clicking the groups. There you go. With my 8th US Air Force, I'm scouting over here, this area. This is how you give orders, by the way. I'm gonna show you more in detail in a bit. And where is it? Strategic bombing wise, with my US Air Force, I am bombing mainly the U-boat facilities, just to get them out of the way very early. Also just to test out what I am able to do. I am still quite a noob at this game myself. So there you go. That's what I'm trying to do with the US 8th Air Force. On to the British. The British are a bit more complex. They have multiple commands. First of all, a fighter force, a bomber command, the tactical Air Force, which for some reason has a bit of everything. Being the smartass that I am, I reassigned all my recon planes to them, and I assigned all the fighters to the fighter force and all the bombers to the bomber force, just for clarity. I recommend you do the same. I based all of my fighters in this area of Kent, around there. You see all of my Spitfires, 5Bs, all of them are right here. You can also, by the way, tell at a glance when you do this, when you organize like this, how many planes of a certain type you have. So I have about 400 Spitfires 5Bs, some Hurricanes, some different types of Spitfires, some Typhoons, and these are night fighters. My bombers are over here, all different types. You see all of them. And the way, by the way, you do all this, you tell where your stuff is for example bomber command. You go over here, this is the airfield, you click on it, it goes to the airfield. So if you see, for example, you say I have planes over here but I don't want them here, select all, click on go to another airfield and just right click and they move there. Easy as pie. So what am I doing with these guys? The fighter force is doing a bit of air superiority just to clear the airspace a bit. I'm also doing recon in this general area. And with my bombers, I am bombing a couple of cities. Actually, perhaps I want to revise this strategy, because why not? We are at it anyway. For example, over here I am bombing a couple of cities in France, including Paris, but there are just not that many good targets in France, unfortunately. And we of course are the British, so we do night bombing. I forgot to mention this, but the Americans have of course different strategies. They do day bombing. The British are much more towards night bombing. Their planes are designed for this. They have bombs designed for this. They have incendiary bombs too. So you should probably use them for this. I have also, by the way, found, for example, let us cancel this attack on Paris, that doing ground attack is actually pretty good. Night ground attack, yeah, with the British bombers is actually pretty good. And here is how you give orders. You input an area, let's say 3. Let's also move it by 1 hex. You set your groups. First you need to set in advanced options, you set the day where they run. Let's give them like this. Just do whatever makes sense, set an altitude that makes sense. And where is it? Day, let's switch it to night. There you go. It's if it's blinking, that means that it's not working. And when it's white, like this, you can assign them. You can assign your planes to the order. You can also, by the way, click on the no fly info to find out. Over here it will show incompatible types or assigned. Yeah. Let us do this. Assign all of these bombers. There you go. We have nearly 700 bombers bombing these airfields. We of course have information on day 1. Right. Sorry, and you click conform. Don't be a dumbass like me. And there you go. Where I also have some my night fighters doing night air superiority. So there you go. I'm bombing the airfields here. I'm doing some aerial superiority at night, and during the day I'm doing some recon. I'm also bombing some of these ports with my shittier bombers. That makes sense to me. So the Americans are doing this, the British are doing this. I also have some naval patrols. This don't really matter that much. Then we move on to the operations in Italy. Now over here I have not organized my planes nearly nicely enough. You see they're all over the place. Just a little bit I reorganized them, only for to give them a bit extra range. But this is of course because we're gonna be landing in Sicily anyway. So there's no real reason to organize the planes in North Africa yet. I'm also, next turn, I'm going to go over the land phase. So in Africa, you have the, what is it? In what order? The 12th Troop Carrier Command. These are troop carriers. What a shocker. They are over here for paratroopers. We'll get to it later. The Coastal Air Force, for example, over here. These guys are essentially just a mixed bag. They have some pretty short-ranged fighters. They are not useful for that much, and I'm mainly gonna be using them to suppress stuff in Sardinia. I also think actually I need to reassign this. This is, by the way, how you assign target priorities. You can do this here too. This assigns the default for the HQ, but you can also do this. You can do each of them individually. And you can also assign the days, of course. Some air superiority and some ground attack with whatever we have in range. That sounds good to me. Then we have the Malta Air Force, which is pretty much entirely just fighters. I'm just doing a bit of air superiority, also providing ground support for this army that will be landing the 15th. The next one is the Tactical Air Force. You can see where it is based off of, right? It is also a bit of a mixed bag of planes. And with them I'm gonna be covering the western half of the island, doing some air superiority and then doing some air interception and airfield bombing with these guys, just to prevent these guys from retreating as much as possible. We're not gonna be able to stop it, but there you go. You can also click on this to see what aircraft you have here. Again, gray means they aren't assigned, or they have some kind of problem out of range, yeah. But these are the ones that are assigned. Hello? Oh, take a look at this one. I apparently also have planes that I did not attach. Well, good thing I noticed. Very well. So that's the Tactical Air Force. My Strategic Air Force. Where is it? There it is. It's again a bit all over the place. Can I not move this one? Oops. There you go, some P-38s, some Mitchells. Let me actually move them, let's say right here. Because it's annoying when they are not in range, of course. So the Strategic Air Force with them. I'm gonna be doing some recon over these straits, because of course they're gonna try to escape. I'm doing some ground attack, targeting the airfield and sorry, there you go, the airfield and some interdiction. And these guys can go every day, no problem. And we are also bombing this port, because they of course needed to cross. We can also set target priority, not a rail yard. What am I doing? There you go. We can also see the groups attached. Very nice. Very nice. These guys, you can also, by the way, see this. They do not have any escorts, apparently. This is, by the way that you can tell. Purple means no escorts. Green means with escorts. So these guys have full escorts. Let us unassign some of these fighter bombers. There you go. And let us assign them to out of range, apparently. Well, I do not care. Here you go. So now that I have assigned those guys, these guys can escort them up to here, but then no more. And by the way, by pressing Shift O, you can look at the flag. This is light flag, this is a heavy flag, and they have range of 1, so they shoot around them. So if we want to avoid some flag, you click on this one, left click on these angles, and click on them. Click them on another hex, and there you go. We are avoiding all the flag. Very nice. We could also... Nah, these guys are fine. Maybe let's increase even more. And you can also always check, of course. You should always check high level cameras when you're doing such things. Recon. There you go. That's the Strategic Air Force. This is pretty much it, right? Hope I'm not forgetting one. Some transports, but those are useless right now. Those are in Britain. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can see you actually setting this up. It actually takes way less time than one in the East, which is interesting, of course. I'm not really sure. There are many things about the game that I'm sure we'll get to. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this. The British bombers at night, of course, are heavily dependent on radar. And this darker spot on the map means that this is within radar coverage from Britain. So we are more effective, and this also practically limits our bombing range with our planes during the night. Which isn't too bad really, because this is what we're gonna be bombing anyway. Next episode maybe, when we're gonna do some bombing different targets, we're gonna discuss what targets we should bomb, because it is of course a very debated topic, of course in reality too. There is no singular winning approach, besides of course doing bombing. Oh, there you go. Let us turn the turn now, and let's get to the second phase. And let us go. Oops. I forgot to put the message level up. There you go. So we lost a couple of... We apparently bombed a couple of planes on the ground. We shall see in a bit though. Unfortunately, the camera does not zoom in wherever you go. No? Here we are sweeping during the day of the first day. Sweeping over the Netherlands, 11 to 2. I'm not gonna, of course, read every one of these out. You can see for yourself. But we are doing a good job, of course. Our fighters are superior in every respect to the Germans. By the way, by pressing the numpad keys, you can adjust the message level. I suggest 2 to be able to do this. And to be able to actually see, you know, some action and not just read a spreadsheet. This is quite similar to like War in the East, you know, or War in the Pacific. There we go, we are bombing some airfields. They are intercepting us over Barcelona, the other one. We are doing some air interdiction. You see, interdict value +4. This of course impedes their movements. We will of course after this is done go over the damage. Here we are bombing Cherbourg. I'm targeting that V weapon site because it's the biggest one. Also just to see, you know, what our shitty bombs can do. Here we are bombing some airfields. Apparently this one was empty. Empty, yeah. You see, by the way, the damage 54%. We are dropping incendiary bombs. I didn't show the armament, but I am carrying max load because I'm flying over France. So we are doing good damage. You will also see the Germans. Oh, here we go. We actually bombed the airfield and we destroyed 17 planes. Very nice. Minus 20 planes. Very nice. 13. Another 13 on the ground, very nice to see. This is during the night, of course, so they are not up. The day fighters are not up in the sky, of course. So it is very nice to take them out on the ground. Also bombers, I think those are bombers. I'm not very up to date with my German fighter terminology. Nice, and our sweeps, this is the day action. Near Amiens, yeah. 32 lost on their side. Over here, over the Netherlands. My goal will be, I think, will be to firstly thin out their defense. So that I don't suffer so many bomber losses. And also, you know, destroy the targets in our areas which we have good range on, meaning France, the Netherlands and Italy. Of course, the Americans are the exception to this. I'm sending them to bomb the U-boat facilities, but I'm only doing that for 1 or 2 weeks, no more than that. Here we see our bombers coming in unescorted, intercepted by quite a lot of BF-109s. And here we are, 23% damage to the U-boat factory, very nice. Up to 46% in Bremen. Oof. I did not expect quite so many. Our Marauders, all of them are coming in on Wilhelmshaven. 50% damage, very good. We are losing a good number of them. 65%. And we are also bombing Kiel. These guys went in unintercepted, I think. 39%, very good damage. We will of course also see, so I do have an escort for them, but they cannot go all the way. But they got intercepted on the way there. So they took out my Thunderbolts, took out some B109s, BF109s. Bombing Bremerhaven, 32%. I'm also bombing Hamburg, 22%, very nice. I didn't really touch any leaders and such. I find that I'm also playing against the AI, you know. I'm not gonna micro it too hard. We are doing some more interdiction. If you look, by the way, at the losses, pretty good in our favor. Oh, we're also sweeping Cagliari. We also have some air combat over the ocean. That's nice. The sea, you know. And the losses right now, the losses are pretty damn good. That bombing run on the ground was actually pretty effective. Some of these are, of course, Italian planes, so, you know, we're bombing the port. Very good damage, I see. We bombed this port. This airfield, sorry. Yeah. Some German planes there. We're also bombing Palermo. Nobody home. Oh my, they intercepted us right here. Quite a lot of German planes actually. Too bad we didn't manage to hit. And these are my fighter bombers. I forgot to show them off. But my Typhoons 1B are fighter bombers, and I'm using them to bomb during the day. Just bombing some airfields, you know. What else are you gonna do with them? Some naval interdiction. I don't actually know how useful this is. I didn't read up on it, but I'm gonna do it because why not? No? Some air combat. And nobody hit anyone, okay. If you look at the losses, it's very good in our favor, mostly because on the ground stuff. You can also see the disparity in sorties. I may have run a bit too many recon sorties. I'll adjust that, you know, and other stuff the next turn. So you see the damage. Previously it was 8 plus 15, you know. So you add that up. We're bombing Cherbourg again. Very nice. With my old Starlings, these guys don't really have much range. They cannot bomb the Rhine anyway, so might as well bomb from targets in France. No? You can also, by the way, see these guys coming in from these airports to intercept us. Now that we know where they are, when we know where these night fighters are, we can do some day bombing there. So near Saint-Dizier and over here, near Champagne. I'll take. I remember that. Minus 13. Very nice. Good. Very good to take them out. And 18, Dio. I think these are naval bombers. I'm not sure though. Bombing the airfields, empty ones, unfortunately. And another 8. Yeah, I do not really think. And another 11. They do not really have much aircraft left on the ground, it seems. Very nice to see. This was more effective than I anticipated, actually. Here we are on day 4. I usually bomb on day 2, 4, and 6. Because it gives our sweeps chance to weaken the fighters a bit. %96 damage and Wilhelmshaven, very nice. Oof, 150, not nice. But we do score some hits on Kiel. We may need to go for a day 2. Of course, 1 week of bombing cannot be expected to knock out the German U-boat production. But 2 weeks, perhaps. And we of course cannot hit some targets. Yeah, of course. Although considering how many planes there are here, I think it would be suicide to just go in there willingly. Of course, I had no idea how many planes there are there. Because I may have recalculated. But that's a discussion for next time about targets. I also do not know, by the way, how long I will keep this series. If it will be a one-off or whatever. We'll see how much fun I have with this series, I guess. Nice. Bombing the airfield. Me 410s, nice. Take a look at this route in order to avoid the A cluster near the Dunkirk. Nice. 61% damage. That's of course very good. Here we are bombing near Paris again. I think the airfields are pretty damn empty now. Yeah, 0 planes. So we are kind of bombing just an empty runway. But it is of course very good to know that there are no more planes in this entire area. Meaning that if we next turn decide to bomb Paris itself, there will not be much to stop us, I think. Here we are, this is the last day of bombing. 12% more to Bremen, that's good. And completely destroyed Wilhelmshaven, good. So Bremen and Wilhelmshaven are pretty much knocked out. I'm not gonna target them again. Yeah, that's for sure. Here we are targeting Kiel again. 70%, that's also pretty good. And also 87% at Bremerhaven. So these three cities are pretty much shut down their production. Hamburg, however, is still at like 40%. So we may need to come for round 2. We're doing some interdiction apparently. Here we go. The port is nearly gone. We also targeted the rail yard apparently. That's not so bad either because they can't rail down then. You can see, by the way, the losses quite a bit in our favor. There we go, that is the end of the turn. So let us analyze the results of that bombing. First of all, the British Fighter Command. I actually didn't see a lot of it because they flew on the first day a lot. So this is the number of from the sorties missions lost. So we lost in total about like 20, let's say. The Germans, however, lost a whole lot more, like 100 planes. And when you click this, you can see. Very nice. Very nice over the Netherlands. And oh yeah, this is the ground attack. This is my sweep over the airfields. We lost 7, damaged 58. Oh yeah, this is the number of damaged. Okay, lost and damaged. Quite a lot of damage. 7 killed. I mean destroyed. Apparently none of the enemy destroyed here, but apparently it doesn't show planes destroyed on the ground, which is about, let's say, 10. So a pretty bad mission this was. Although we do damage and we do confirm that they do not have any aircraft in that area. Good. Our bombers, we bombed Cherbourg. We did pretty decent damage to that V site. We can also look at a ground attack near Paris. We lost 14 planes, 171 damaged, so perhaps I should reduce my mission frequency. Supposedly 6, they lost 6, but that's not true. Take a look on the ground. That's like, let's say 100. That's like, let's say 150, 60 or so. So this was a very successful mission, actually. We can also check our on the ground later. Second tactical, oh yeah, this are my recons. The Malta, they just had 1 intercept. The strategic guys, they bombed what did they bomb? Oh, these are the recon guys. They bombed the port of Messina, pretty much into rubble. And we did some ground attack, also over there, near Palermo. And we scored some decent hits. Nothing crazy. We did lose 21 bombers here, which is not nice. Our tactical Air Force did actually get some good hits on Italian planes, wherever they actually hit. Yeah, and our fighters, of course, they did a good job. And that's pretty much it. Okay, now we are on to the land phase. And this is, by the way, how I understand that it works. We don't really have that much to do, certainly not in Britain. We have pretty much nothing to do in Britain during the land phase. But we have planned invasions, and the way you do this is you click this invade button on these amphibious HQs, and they will take attrition, and they will go over here, and next turn they will unload. You can also, by the target, use this thing. There you go. Let us set some targets for these guys. Hello. If I were to, you know, use the right mouse key, there you go. We may get intercepted there, we'll see. We do have some other things, there you go. More amphibious guys. We can also, by the way, load some of these guys. And the way you do this, you do amphibious transport mode or naval transport mode. Okay, we cannot select all of them. Oh, of course we are... I'm blind, of course. We are not in a port. And we cannot select those guys or that guy. So we go like this. We go naval transport mode and let's put our guys near here so that they can land next turn. Same with these HQs. Also this 8th British Army, good. I'm gonna go relatively quickly through all of this. It sounds like it's a particularly interesting system, you know. I would say, of course, this is the weaker part of the game, but it's good enough for what it wants to depict. We are landing in Italy. Of course, the bigger thing about this is keeping the Germans busy, really, because they are, of course, engaged with the Soviets in the east, and we just generally want to make their life hell. So, the best way to do this is to invade Italy and yeah, cause as many casualties on them as possible. I'm gonna transport as much stuff as I can. No, we cannot load those guys. We are, of course, limited on how much we can transport. There you go. There again. And of course, armored divisions take quite a bit more supply and stuff to be able to transport. Actually, are these guys paratroopers? No, they are not. They are SAS, but not paratroopers. There you go. We also have some extra airborne guys. Let us try to cut these guys off wherever we can. There you go. And I think next turn they will actually drop. And I think we also have one division here. No. Must have been my imagination. I think that's pretty much it. And there you go. You don't, of course, have that much crazy stuff in 1943 as the Allies. Oh yeah, and these guys, I forgot. Oh. I did not look west enough. Not enough available shipping. Uh oh. I think I used the port a bit too much. That's a mistake. Let me rail these guys down. Some engineers too. Yeah, they're gonna go from here. Good enough. And I think that's pretty much it that we have to do. Let's turn a turn and be done with it. They now, of course, the Germans get their air turn. I think. We're gonna discuss some more things the next episode. Oh no, we get stuff. We land here on empty beaches, of course. Yeah, we get it. Here we do make a regiment surrender. Yeah. Any day now. And that's pretty much it. One of them, of course, didn't go, which is a bit of a mistake on my part, of course. And here is the enemy airface. What the hell are they doing? Is this rain or is this enemy naval patrols? I do not know. They might be doing some naval patrols. Makes sense. Once we do, of course, land in Italy, they don't really stand much of a chance in Italy generally, of course. Not until they reach the mountains. And here they are clumping up against the end of this island. Here we are landing, of course. And we go back to, we get our logistics phase and we go back to our air planning phase. Saving stuff, very good. You can also see, by the way, all that has happened. 500 pilots killed for them so far. 431. What? Nearly 900 plane losses. Jesus Christ, how? That's pretty crazy. We lost 300 and 300 pilots killed. Very nice. So here we are, back at the map. Thank you guys for watching this first episode. I think I'm gonna try to make this small series at the very least. So, if you wanna learn more about the game or contribute to the series in any way, continue watching, and thank you. See you next time.